Hello and welcome to Benz Addiction. Today we are going to talk about the common issues and problems with CLK class. This includes the CLK class from 2002 to 2009. There are also some common issues common between the other C classes and E classes, just like W203 and W211. So stay tuned. Number 10 issue with the C class. This is not an issue, but number 10 is if you leave your CLK class for a long period of time exposed under the sunlight, you will get some sort of faded headlights. So as you can see, I've got a little faded headlights over here. It's not as crystal clear as it should be. And the solution is, first, as much as possible, avoid exposure to sunlight. And second, if you can, apply some UV protection to the headlights to protect the lens itself. Also, I cannot see any other issue with CLK class exterior at all, as everything else is sorted. Even these frameless windows are very waterproof, and I have never had any issues with the waterproofness of these frameless windows, as they are very high quality. Not a single problem with the tail of the CLK either, so pretty much it's a very reliable and a body with no issue. Okay, let's quickly move on to number 9. Number 9 is something to do with interior. I have seen too many CLK classes that had issue with the glove box. That is to say, the glove box over here either doesn't latch properly because of this bracket. This little bracket over here is probably not strong enough, or people are kind of harshly dealing with this glove box. As you can see, I have already replaced my glove box once as it was broken, but now there is no issue with it at all. Okay, next issue that you might have with your CLK is some sort of electrical issue. Some sort of random electrical issue that might happen to the SAM modules, the front SAM modules, or the rear SAM module. You can check this problem and issue when a fault happens. You can diagnose your CLK and see what is wrong. To avoid this problem, you might want to make sure that your battery is always charged and not discharged, and don't leave any of the accessories inside the car on for an extended period of time. So make sure your battery is in a good condition and it's not discharged. This is number 7 issue that you might have. If you have a kid or someone that doesn't know how to treat these seatbelt presenters, whenever you want to buckle up your seatbelt, you need to pull it horizontally, not vertically like that, because if you do that, you put too much pressure on these weak arms and you might break it. So this is the next thing to be wary of. Okay, the next issue I've seen, and it's very common among the CLKs and other C and E classes like 203 and 211, is the headrest adjustments. In most cases, I've seen that this headrest doesn't move electrically, and there is a plastic mechanism inside that breaks. If you put too much pressure on it, it's a V kind of plastic bracket that has some kind of tooth on it, and it sometimes break, and you need to remove the back cover of the seat to be able to access that, and to probably glue it or maybe replace it depending on the situation. Okay, moving out of the interior of CLK, there are a few things underneath the bonnet that you might need to take care of. M112 engine, which is the 6-cylinder, and M113 engine, they share the same issues. They are very bulletproof engines. They can go up to 500,000 kilometers without any issues. The transmission as well, there is no mechanical issue with the engine and with the transmission. They are very, very reliable. The only issue you might have is your crankshaft position sensor. This might give you some headache time to time, probably after 100,000 kilometers when I talk about time to time. But the symptom of this sensor going bad is that you might stall the car whenever you want to come to a stoplight, or you might get kind of a hard warm startup. And to avoid this issue, you might to change your crankshaft position sensor. Okay, the next problem we want to talk about is some sort of leaks. And it's very important to be wary of these leaks, because these leaks if you remove your air cleaner and have a look at your valve cover, there is a very big gaskets around it, and there are two gaskets on top of each other. So there is one over here. This is a part of the gasket, as well as we have the bigger valve cover gasket over here, and that is prone to leak time to time. And you need to, in this case, I have replaced my valve cover gasket, and as you can see, there is one more over here. So one thing to consider is just you need to make sure that these PCV hoses are in good shape, as well as your valve cover gasket. This valve cover gasket is very prone to leak, and you need to buy a very high good quality and install these gaskets properly. Talking about the leaks, there is not much leak about the transmission. The only leak you might get from transmission is the main connector leak. There is a seal on the main connector of the transmission that might leak, and that problem. So the second issue arises when the fluid travels all the way up to the TCU inside the cabin, and on the left hand side underneath the passenger, on the right hand side steer car, under the passenger side upholstery, there is the TCU. And if you have a leaky transmission connector, that fluid might travel up and go into your TCU and actually ruins your TCU if not fixed properly and in time. So be aware of that. Okay, the next issue is over here. It's something kind of electrical, and it's about your gear shifter. These gear shifters are prone to go bad after 100,000 kilometers. Between 100 to 150,000 kilometers, they usually go bad, and they come with a kind of a code, and they put your transmission into limp mode. So the symptom is that you won't be able to shift into a park or neutral without shutting off the engine. So one thing to consider, if you have these kind of symptoms, it's almost time for you to replace the gear shifter mechanism. Okay guys, I think I have included everything in my video, all the issues that you might have, and I had most of them during the 2 years of my ownership of my CLK. So if you be wary of these problems, CLKs are very reliable coupes that gives you a lot of pleasure for driving. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I have more CLK and A209 and C209 videos are coming. I also have my R129 videos coming in next few weeks. So stay tuned and have a good day.